Joe Pullman here from craftworking.net. I'm putting together a bunch of videos on my hobby and interest in data center virtualization, cloud computing, and moving forward with the latest technology in compute technology. Um, I've been doing this now for about 5 or 6 years. In the past, I was like everybody else and had computers and loaded up software and operating systems, Windows, Linux, everything else, Unix. And this is how we lived. And at the end of the day, I had a bunch of boxes all over the house doing all sorts of different things, applications, file servers, video renderers, desktop computers, everything. So I had 6, 8 computers all laying around here, all doing different things, sucking up power, generating heat, and this is the way we liked it. And everything was dandy. And about 5 years ago or so, at the company I worked, got introduced to virtualization and cloud computing. And it's like I've arrived. Um, I'm now can take all of these computers and all of these applications and everything and then stick them in one box, and you're done, and you log into it and you manage everything, and you're not running around everywhere to each individual PC or server or desktop and trying to use it, manage it, or whatever. So I fell in love with it, and here we are. So and when I started this and was working with it and getting familiar with it, I was now thinking, hey, can I apply this to me? Can I put this in the house and get rid of all of these computers around the house, consolidate them into one box, stick it in a corner, and alleviate the heat, the power usage, and the space, really. And yeah, so I started looking into this, and I do a lot of research and found out, what other people are doing and how they're deploying it. And there wasn't a lot of information. People just started doing it, and I'm going to spend some videos talking about what it is and how it really can apply to you. I'm sure I'm not the only person on the planet who's thinking like this, because I'm sure engineers and tinkers out there have a bunch of computers laying around the house, and maybe what I'm going to show you here, maybe this may be something for you. This can be something fun and exciting. It can be done relatively inexpensively. Um, I can actually do this for a budget under $1,000, and it'll work just fine. So like I said, this is going to be an intro. I'm going to be showing you everything now. In the consumer world, when you start getting into this, when you start getting into virtualization, you find out all the possibilities that you can do. You can now start getting into spinning up machines to tinker with, to play with, to spin them down. And what ends up happening is now you will spin up a lot more computers than you have laying around the house, because it's so easy and efficient, and you don't have to go buy anything. VMs are cheap, free in fact, and you can, whatever software you want to. Linux is free, so if you want to start learning and working with Linux and playing around with programming, and not affect anything else, by all means, this would be a great thing to do, because you can do this and not spend any money and not spend a lot of time working with the hardware. Just do this. So if you want a Linux machine to go do something like program, just spin up a machine, you're done in less than an hour, and you're working. You're not saying, oh, I need another PC, I need another desktop, I need to go down to Fry's or Best Buy and buy a PC and spend the money and then get it configured and load the software. And it's just so much easier to do it through virtualization. And then this gets into the cloud computing, where you can start accessing this stuff remotely, moving them around. Now these PCs are going to be on the internet where you can manage them. You've got the ability to do remote desktops, virtual desktops. The applications are endless. Since the world has gone to virtualization, there's been a lot of development on applications. Orchestration is the big one, on how to actually use this stuff and manage it and work with it in a virtualized environment. But also in this series of videos that I'm going to be putting together is that how do you integrate this into your life? In the big data centers, Google, Rackspace, everything else, these people have contracts and business associations with internet service providers. They have SLAs. They have specialized configurations and topologies that work for them. This will not work for you in your home. In your house, if you try to go do this and get it all working with Verizon, AT&T, personally I'm with AT&T, and getting this to work with AT&T has been very interesting, to say the least. There's a lot of workarounds, and this is why I'm putting together these videos to kind of show you what I've gone through and maybe help you guys out to get this incorporated, because as of right now I've actually got this data center built and configured and working, and I had to do a lot of interesting things that are not normally typical in a normal residential internet service connection environment. I'll take you through that in a later video. But a lot of what you can do now with the virtualization is, for one, an example is a web server. I spun up a simple Ubuntu web server and got it configured in a virtualized environment in my data center. It's all virtualized. And you now get into, well, how do I get connected to the internet? And how do I get it connectivity from outside in the public network into your into your VMware server, because the wires are gone now. Everything is going into a host, which contains all your VMs, and this is all done virtually. And things get a little different when you start looking at this. So I'm going to take you through that in a later video. But to start off with, 5 years ago I did some purchasing and I bought what I thought was adequate, and it was for the time. And what I've done, and I put it together, it was one host, and started throwing VMs at it, and it worked fine. And I quickly outgrew that. And one of the video series I'm going to put together is how I did that upgrade and all the challenges there. So hope you enjoy all these videos coming up, but this was just an intro and to introduce myself, and we will go from there. So, but first of all, in the next videos I'm going to show you what I had, and then have the upgrade, and then I'm going to start showing you the different projects and the different things I've been doing to actually enhance it, so, and actually turn it into a real data center. And I'm going to explain to you the differences in the applications, and try to put it together in a way that you guys can actually run this and without spending millions and thousands and millions of dollars and getting into very complex situations. So well, I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in the next video.